see if this thing works. Trying something new here, guys, so if anybody's in here yet, please have some patience. See if I can get this thing rocking and rolling.
Always catch more, man. Seen it all.
We got it.
Caught them all. Still more. There's no limits to these big vast dreams.
You know the name, fishing is my claim to fame. See me catching everything and every fish will breed, man. On swim baits and jigs, drop shot rig. When I get off the water, can't wait to hit them again. My last post, I heard them, put a hurt in them. Big bass dream team, who out working them. Set up shop on a hump and let the bait drop. Hydro wave action, watch me bring him to the top. I'm not tripping on what he got. I got spots, live wheel full, homie. See you at the dock, it's the real. You don't know how these big ones feel. Spent years putting in work, develop these skills. A couple years on my hustle, man. Now I'm in a regular gang. Merc on the back, that's facts. Bring it on plane. Me and you, oh no, we not the same. You a keyboard pirate, my man, that's hella lame. My track is instrumental, catch fish, get him in the net quick. Cast for another stick. That real deal, raw uncut. Still chasing PBs, cause it's never enough. My track is instrument, catch fish, get him in the net quick. Cash for another stick. That real deal, raw uncut. Still chasing PBs, cause it's never enough.
Medium light, graphite for the subtlest bites. Some bright blue skies, not a cloud in sight. It's dynamite when I drop, and the school ignites. Pinning them down on the hop, cause he's taking off flight. I'm using all of my might, securely taming the fight. No fright, despite my polymer is tight. The conditions is right, water maximum height. Wind slight, temp 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
If I kill the music, can you hear me now? How we doing? Can I get a confirmation from somebody? Anybody there? The beginning of these live streams are always a little awkward. It's been a while. Here. Gotta resort to typing. Okay, Ernesto. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So, anyways, I'm just putting some hooks on. Figure I'd jump on here live and catch up with you guys. See how everybody's doing, man. Interesting times we're living in these days. I was not planning on being home for this stretch of the spring season. As you guys can see in the video playing, man, we were just starting to figure out a pretty fun bite up there in Clear Lake last week and a half. But things change, so we gotta pivot and adapt just like we do when we're out there fishing. Let me see. Can I turn my volume up? Is that better? These iMacs are a trip. Don't want to check my software updates. What's up, 2 Hot Wheels? What else we got in here? Looks like we got about 11 people. Alright, let's see. App sound is good. Output sound. Allow my other software. Source mic. Built-in mic. Yeah. I think that's the best that we're going to be able to get unless I drop some headphones in. So if you guys need me to drop the headphones in, let me know. I'll throw those on. What's up, Bassifornia? Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Just hanging out with me today. I'm in the office trying to get through some tackle organization and prepping for the next trip whenever and wherever that will be. Who knows these days, but staying home, staying safe for now. What's up, Stefan? So Mr. Steinhoff. Is it Stefan or Steven? I never know. Got you. Cool, cool, cool. But yeah, man, I'm just here hanging out with you guys. You guys got any questions? Lay them on me, man. Let's chat. Let's talk about some fishing. We're just putting some hooks here on some of these baits that need hooks. It's never ending, the amount of time that we put into tackle preparation to be ready when we're on the water. Man, Richie got double 9s on the mag draft. That was Table Rock, right? That's sick. That's a big fish anywhere, let alone in Missouri. Nice work, bro. You guys haven't seen those, make sure you guys check his Instagram. Really, really nice fish. Ah, supposed to sound like Steven. I got you. Steinhoff should have been a good tip off that you were of German descent. Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Shout out to my 7th grade German teacher. What was his name? Gosh. Oh, redheaded bastard. I think he passed since, so rest in peace. Gosh, what was his name, man? He used to give me extra credit for drawing maps. That's how I became so geographically literate. Mr. Skocut. Too bad nobody went to school with me and had Mr. Skocut, but anyways. What are you rolling your eyes for, man? Vibration X Ultras, getting some upgrades on the hooks. You guys don't know, this is a discontinued lure. So if you guys are a fan of lipless baits and megabass fans, you better scramble to get your hands on some while you can. Unfortunately, what happens when a brand like Megabass comes out with like 30 new items a year, what does that mean? That means like 30 current items got to come off the assembly line. So that is the harsh reality of it all. But for those of us that are fishing this stuff, that find that it's an advantage when nobody else is really throwing them, that's for us to enjoy, right? Table Rock. I have a feeling I know who you're fishing at, bro. And when all these quarantines are lifted, I might find my way back out that way this year. Who knows? But man, talk about taking the ability to just jump around wherever I want for granted, huh? Nope, no 8-inch freestyles yet from Megabass. Not, at least not from what I've heard. So for now, just fish your mag draft stock. Let's see, I got mine right here. So if you guys haven't already seen the video on the Big Bass Dreams channel, we did a conversion video on the stock mag drafts. And this is before the advent of the 6-inch freestyle. So what we were doing is we were fishing the 6-inch mag draft until we wear out the internal harness. So I double the lifespan. I'd take a razor blade or a sharp knife and I'd cut out the I'd cut out that harness, mend it back together, any tears, and then I'd get double the lifespan out of my baits. And you know, I'm not cheap. I'm just frugal and have learned to be the most efficient with my resources because I grew up without a lot of resources. So we do the same thing with the 8-inch bait and the 10-inch bait. So those of you guys that fish the mag drafts of whatever size or even mag slows, I like fishing them stock when they'll eat it this way, when I can fish it high in the column and fish are willing to come travel to come get it. And then eventually you're just going to wear out that harness, it's going to get loose in there, and then you can double up lifespan and usage out of your bait by then taking those baits and then cutting out the harness. And now you can put them in high risk situations, really snaggy scenarios, and keep catching fish on these things. The plastic on this is really resilient, so I know it'd be nice to have some freestyles straight out of the package like this 6-inch that's now available, but just gives you more excuse to buy a couple more baits. What else we got here? Ernesto says, some lakes in my area don't have navionics sonar maps. Wanted to put together on a map, but kind of stuck since that's my go-to avenue for looking at topo maps. Well, if you fish a smaller body of water or a smaller section on a smaller body of water, you can do what I do. I just build my own maps with my Garmin electronics. So there's a feature where you can actually build your own topographical maps down to the 1 foot contour. So a lake like Paris here at home, or Pudding Stone, or even some sections of Clear Lake that we were fishing. I actually built my own maps through the course of me fishing, and I would just, go up and down on my trail as I'm fishing, and eventually everything is mapped. So that's an option. There's some other options for some self-mapping, but that's my favorite because it's 100% accurate. Alright. Mr. Steven says, if I ever find free time on my hands, which you doubt, which you're accurate, I very rarely do, you would love an in-depth jerkbait vid. Well, actually I was kind of bouncing that idea around and was considering doing a green room breakdown on some jerkbait fishing, because as much as I like throwing a jerkbait, it surprises me how many people still do not throw the jerkbait, and I've developed my own kind of system for throwing jerkbaits, and I catch a lot of fish on the jerkbait, and some really good ones too, of all species. So I did want to already dive into some of my jerkbait fishing and explain how I like to approach this style of bait and the different nuances on them. Gosh, man, it's so complex now. There's so many options, but yeah, I think I'll just do that next time I get an opportunity and a break from editing some of the videos. I'll do a green room technical breakdown on some jerkbait fishing, and we'll start with each individual model, right? We'll do some 110s, we'll do some 110 plus 1s, some plus 2s. I was throwing the 110 max LBO up here in this video up at Clear Lake. They were eating it pretty good. Also got into a sick bite on the Canada, and that's one of my favorite baits just because it's bigger, and man, they were woofing that thing. So I know that's a bait not a lot of people fish, so we'll probably do a green room video on that too. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel if you guys aren't already, man. You're going to continue to see these style of videos that's showing in the background here. Can you guys see that video that I'm playing in the background here? This is episode 1 of the Clear Lake series that we just shot, and I've been working on all week. We've got 16 episodes already edited, uploaded, scheduled to post every other day. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of the curve on that, so I will be able to jump back on my own channel here and doing some of the green room stuff. And then also on top of the regular green room stuff, I will be jumping back onto my Patreon stuff for my patrons, because it's been a wild start to the year and I've fallen behind, so I apologize to all my patrons, but appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue to make it an incredibly valuable resource for you. So let's see, Rich has lost faith in the harness. Man, that's crazy. I've never had a failure, man, and I like to wreck on these fish. Gotta lay off the gym, homie. Yep, freestyle is nice, the durability is nice. Nick Costa, you want an iSlide 135 video, huh? Look at this little guy. So, those of you guys that aren't familiar, this is a 135. This is the 185. And this right here is 262. So that represents the entire iSlide family right there. So, obviously, one of my favorites. Stay tuned for some sick. Gosh, I can't do anything. That's why I can't have anything nice. Stay tuned for some sick live scope video. I literally have a video where you can see the iSlide coming into the view of the live scope 65 feet out, and actually 45 feet out in this scenario, and at 25 feet from the boat, 6 feet down, as I'm gliding this iSlide. It's not this color, it's the Okaiwa I was throwing. you see this big blob in real time rise up to it, and I watched that fish super hyped up, so I hit it one more time. I'm like, yeah, and guess what? She ate it. So we got some sick footage of that stuff coming. I'll probably do a green room video on that bait down the line as well. Man, just so much cool stuff going on to share with you guys. Yep. And then the 185 is a great mid-size introduction bait. To me, this barely qualifies as a big bait anymore. Some of the standard style baits, cranks and jerk baits I'm throwing are in this size range. But yeah, the 135. This is a bait I probably don't fish enough. I feel like it's a slower bait, but for those of you guys that are trying to pick apart cover and bank fishing especially, right? You got 1 or 2 good casts per spot before you gotta walk your ass all the way over here. This is a great bait for fishing that way because you can really slow down and be methodical in your approach. The standard 135 is a floating bait, so you can actually weight it to suspend if you wish. What I'm holding here is actually a saltwater version 135 that sinks. So Nick, I will consider doing a tackle breakdown video on the 135. Got a place that I might be able to sneak away to do some shooting and fishing this week. This could be a player. I just got to dig them out, man. I got to figure out where I put those things. But yeah, it's a cool bait, especially when they're eating panfish or bass profile prey items. You know, this is a good little white perch or white bass or crappie imitation, in my opinion, or some of the, you know, shad too. I think we all get kind of too wrapped up on super realistic baits sometimes, but anyways, yeah, Nick, there you go, man. If you fish a lot of small ponds in the woods and Mass, that bait would definitely get it done. Like I said, you can really slow down and make things happen. What else you guys got for me, man? You got 10 of you guys here, and I'm not even tripping because I don't really care that there's only 10 of us hanging out, man. I got 10 rad dudes hanging out with me. We're just here, we're BSing. It's probably the next best thing to you guys actually being here and subjecting yourselves to infection. Hope you guys are taking this serious, man. You know, as much as I want to hang out with my boys and my girls and my family and go do this, that, and a third, like, I can't afford to be down and sick for like 2 or 3 weeks, let alone any of that other serious stuff that comes with it. So in the meantime, I'm going to use this opportunity to upgrade some hooks, catch up on some work, get my tackle organized, and catch up with you guys. You guys been watching any of these videos yet? We got 3 videos up from Clear Lake already. Like I said, we got a video coming out every other day. The next one's about to get real. The one we posted yesterday had a nice 29-pound bag for our best 5. Yep. What's up, Abdel Avia? Welcome to the stream, brother. Awesome, Nick. Yeah, man, you guys that continue to support Ben, he continues to support us. So, you know, it makes all this work. By the way, if you guys are looking for these Big Bass Streams Mega Bass collaboration hats, Ben is the only one that has them, and he's got them on sale for $10 off a normal price. So, if you guys need a swoop one, man, cop one. You know, that direct support with the merch is probably the most impactful way for you guys to continue to support what I do, what everybody involved with Big Bass Dreams is doing, and it's going to help us get to a point where we can do this even more often and better for you guys, right? So we can all catch more fish. I think that's the point of it all. The more fish that you guys catch through some of the insight I'm able to share with you guys, the more likely you are to not hate me, and the more likely you are to continue to support what we're all doing and help me realize some of these grandiose dreams that I got, like catching a 4-pound crappie. Yo, Steven. Well, I'm glad, man, they're going to open or reopen Magic Johnson. Always care, bro. I always care. Aim high, dream big, Rich. Hope you get that limit, man. Yeah, appreciate you watching them, Nick. We got part 4 dropping tomorrow. That one's going to be extra special. I'll catch a big one on the Defiant 210. And the way I catch it is a riot. Let's just say I had a catastrophic failure. And we got it all on video, even on the 360 video. Just a special moment I got to share with a couple of friends, man, that were there to see it firsthand. A lot of fun, and at the end of the day, this is why we're all driven to the brink of bankruptcy and insanity and perpetual loneliness, is all because of the fun that we have while fishing. So shout out to everybody that can relate. Another cool one right there. Shad Spawn Killer, Megabass Sexy Shad, Vibration. Let's see, when's the Risk It for the Biscuit shirts and hats coming out? Asked Nick. Man, that's something we definitely got to get with Big Bass Dreams Australia and make happen for sure. And speaking of which, there's a whole nother week of fishing that I haven't even had time to dive into off the Northern Territory Australian coast. Wild Bear Monday, more big groupers. I got a GT, these big queenfish things. Legit thought I was gonna get eaten by a crocodile. Didn't shit for 4 days. So there's that. But yeah, what else you guys got for me, man? I got plenty of baits here. I don't know if I got enough hooks. What have you guys been up to? You guys staying home? You guys out and about? Some of you guys like Rich are out fishing. There's only a couple of lakes left open down here in Southern California. The ocean's still open, but really not trying to put myself or anybody else at risk in the meantime. So I'm just gonna lay low, play it safe for now. Work as much as possible from home. You guys biding the time. For me, I've been stuck in this dungeon all day, every day since we got back from Clear Lake, but it's really nothing new for me. Start the day editing, end the day editing, switching it up this weekend, taking a break from that, and getting this this plethora of tackle organized. Look at that color, huh? I don't even know what that color is. One of the croc colors. But I was looking forward to throwing this up in Northern California. Or even Texas maybe this year, but all that is on hold. Nice. Staying at home too, huh, Mr. Avila? Yep. Yeah, if you guys can, get out fish. You know, just do it in a smart fashion. Don't be going out in crowds and dapping everybody and hugging everybody. This virus is the real deal. People are getting sick, man. Definitely don't want to be a contributor to the madness that's going on, so that falls on all of us. Like Johnny and I were isolated up there at Clear Lake, pretty much by ourselves. Like we didn't go anywhere, we didn't shop anywhere. We brought all our supplies with us. We stayed in the house. We spent the day on the lake. We came back, and that was a week of that. Yeah, make sure you guys are hitting that like button and commenting on those videos. Here's part 2. And if you guys haven't noticed, man, we share with you the entire process. The struggles of the first couple days. We had gotten up there right when the air temps dropped low enough for it to snow. So extreme cold front. Extreme drop in water temps, and the fishing definitely reflected that. Everybody's telling us about how we had missed the bite by a couple weeks. It was incredible for the last 2-3 weeks, and then it shut down. So of course it did. But we went up there and we do what we do. We try a whole bunch of things, scout throughout the lake and try and figure out the puzzle, because it changes hourly and daily, let alone weekly. So that's one of the nice things about being able to go anywhere anytime, is that it doesn't really matter. Eventually you give me 2 to 4 days and we're going to figure something out. Nick, you looking for an I-wing video? Might be a couple months, man. Need some water temps to climb back up before I can probably start effectively targeting them with any top water. Ninja spotting missions, man. I've had a couple of invites to do that, but haven't taken anybody up on it. I do miss some spotted bay bass fishing. Those of you guys that are not native to the West Coast, I feel sorry for you in that you guys don't know what a spotted bay bass is. It is arguably one of the most tenacious and hardest fighting fish, ounce for ounce, that I've ever had the pleasure of pulling on. And they are only native from like Magdalena Bay up to Santa Barbara. So they are pretty much a Southern California West Coast fish. Yeah, hey, it is Sunday. People unfortunately are not heeding the warnings and getting together. Even some of my friends, you know, they're hanging out at each other's houses and doing this, that, and the third. And man, can't tell you how to live your lives, homies. You guys do you. It don't even matter. Alright, there's the last one of the craw ones. Here's a sick color. Any of you guys been on this blue revelation that I've been on the last couple years? I used to be against anything with blue in it, because I didn't really think it was a natural color until I actually started paying attention to some of the things I was seeing in the water. Like those Clear Lake hitch. You guys are going to start seeing videos of these hitch that we were coming across up at Clear Lake, and they had a very prominent blue purple sheen to them when you turned them in the sunlight. So blue, blue, blue. Gary, what's up, man? Well, funny you say that, 'cause as soon as I'm done with this live stream, I was gonna go outside in the Dream Machine and shoot a new mail call video, bro. See what it is? All I'm gonna say is, I'm at a point in my career where it's nice to only work with people that want to work with me. And there's some things in the works that I can't talk about, but has me excited about the future. And man, this reel in particular has been a pleasant surprise. Did not think I was gonna like it as much as I did. It's been a while since I tried Alexa, since the first gen came out, and that HD is the truth. So yeah, no more of the other team for me. So if you guys are looking for any reels, holler at your boy. They're available. What else we got? Upgrading hooks on all of my hard baits, Steven. So like here's this 110, right? And if you notice, I've got heavier gauge trebles front and back, but I like to leave that stock Katsuage hook in the middle. And I swapped the hooks out to a heavier gauge because as you guys can see from the videos, I pull on my fish a lot harder than the guys that designed the system do. And I'm targeting bigger fish, and I want to be able to control my fish at all times. I'm not that guy that likes to pull on fish lightly and let them swim around the boat, blah blah blah. My philosophy is the longer they're on your line, the more likely they are to get off. And I do pretty good, so I have to adjust what's available to suit my fishing style. And yeah, that calls for heavier gauge hooks, but I leave that middle hook because it's super sticky. It's really good at grabbing those fish. They usually have the front or the back hook wedged in the corner of their mouth because they are trying to eat it, and then one or all three of those other hooks will catch them somewhere on their face, in the head, and just up my odds of landing them. So I keep the stock hooks on hand, and I'll replace those as I go, because eventually those will bend out as well. And up until the other day, I couldn't recall the last time I actually had a fish only hooked on the middle hook. And that really happened, I think, because I was fishing the bigger Kanata, which is a much bigger jerkbait. It's 160 millimeters. This is 110 millimeters. And it had enough space to just grab it T-bone and not get the front or back hook. But that almost never happens with the standard size 110. So I'm not really worried about flexing that stock hook out on a 110 or Ito Shiner or anything smaller than this, because you're almost always going to have 2, if not 3 hooks in their face somewhere. Alright, so same thing with these lipless. I fish much heavier line than most. It's usually 50-pound braid to like 15 to 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on these hooks and these fish. Nick Costa, what hooks do I replace the 110 Junior with? I'm gonna guess those are size 8s. So here, I'll give you guys a freebie, and I only give this kind of info to my Patreon guys. All right, here. Hold on. Let me get you guys a link. If you guys are looking for a place for cheap hooks, this guy should be paying me, because I've been sending a ton of people to him, and I actually just ordered more hooks today. Alright, but if you go on eBay, I think this should work. Uh-oh, which one of these are my windows? There we are. Okay, I'm putting a link right now in the chat. Oh gosh. Sorry. Really trying to be helpful here. Is that working? No? That definitely did not work. Sorry guys, hold on. This can't be that hard. Copy. Okay. Well, it won't let me do it. Anyways, go on eBay. Search. Here, just search this. Search the title. It wouldn't let me put the actual whole link in there, which is weird. Did it work? Nope. Search 100 count Mustad KVD triple grips. I get them for like $50 per 100. It's pretty cheap. And when you got hundreds of hooks to go through, it all adds up. Alright, where are we? How critical are electronics? They are extremely critical. So if you guys look at this video here, I'm fishing a enormous mud flat at Clear Lake that goes on for miles. And these fish would cluster up and school up in certain zones, and unless you had actual electronics, side scan, live scope, you would be very inefficient just trying to go through and fish through all of this stuff. So I literally just keep driving, and you'll see this in some of the later episodes in this series. We'll locate dozens, hundreds. Literally, there was a section where I was driving through thousands of fish, and they had not been ready to go yet. But man, if we were able to stick around a few more days, we would have had some epic days, because we located them for sure. But electronics are just a way for us to all be way more efficient with our time. I mean, that's my most valuable commodity. I don't know about how you guys feel, but you know, when we were out there and spend 10 hours driving to get to Clear Lake, and all the money on gas and food and the place we're staying, we want to be as efficient with our time as possible. And if you're not using good electronics, man, you're just being inefficient. Like, I ain't got time for that. So always get the best electronics that you can afford. At the end of the day, can we make it happen without them? Yeah, but it'd probably take you a lot longer. And then once you guys see some of the live scope videos from this series, you guys are probably all gonna go get live scope, because that is 1,000% changed the way I fish. Because I have a real time perspective on what is truly going on under the surface of the water, and there's so much value in that. It's incredible. Doesn't matter if it's nighttime, dirty water, whatever the visibility, I can see those fish. I can see how my bait is swimming, where in the column it's swimming, how those fish are reacting to it, what adjustments I can and need to make. So I'm excited for you guys to see some of that stuff over the coming weeks. Alright. Yeah, Stefan, looks like Davo wants to be on Team Oliver, so I'm stoked to have him on board, man. I've known several of those guys for a long time now, and like I said, they want me on the team thus far, so there's something to be said about that. Alright, let's see. Ernesto, LV500 Chrome Blue always gets him the large bass. Consistently large. Man, it's an interesting thing, man, because I grew up fishing pudding stone, right? And black chrome was my lipless color. And there were guys that were throwing black blue or chrome blue, and I used to be like, man, that don't look real. But those guys used to catch way bigger fish on the lipless than I do, so there's something to it for sure. I don't know if you guys have seen the iSlide 262 color, but there's a super bright blue back. Kind of, reminds me a lot of that. So there's something to it. Albert, yes, what's up, my man? How you doing, bro? Good to see you back on here. Yeah, I'm still doing the Patreon thing. I need to play catch up over the next couple weeks here, and I'm gonna try to overload those boys with that real insight that I was giving to guys like yourself. Some definite deeper dive green room stuff, and yeah, we're just gonna keep it rolling, right? Richie Cam 10, I knew it. Man, for real, Steven, I'm surprised you guys aren't hitting me with more questions, man. I'm trying to keep up right now. I'm actually getting distracted from swapping hooks. But if you guys haven't seen episode 3, this is the start of us whacking some of these fish. I think this is day 3 on Clear Lake, and my boy Johnny here. If you guys aren't subscribed to his channel, the link is on the description of the video. He's got some stuff he's working on. This dude is one of the fishiest guys I've ever known. He's taken like a 10-year hiatus from largemouth bass fishing, but he's one of the best local urban bass fishermen that I've ever known. And he's caught some monsters, like 12s, 13s, and 14s out of places like Leg Lake. And, they're not easy places to catch fish out of, let alone giants. So watching him get his wheels turning and re-embracing bass fishing was a really special experience for me. Because he didn't know half of the stuff that we were throwing. He's been out of the game. He doesn't know what any of this stuff was, but what he does know is fish. And, with a little bit of insight, watching what I was doing on the live scope, watching what I was doing with a couple of these baits, he was a quick study, man, and I think he had some of the best bass fishing of his life. We got to capture all of that through the videos to share with you guys. Yeah, let's see. Steven is aggressive. Be aggressive. Oh, sick. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I hope you guys take advantage of that deal on eBay. Literally, that's how I'm getting these hooks by the hundreds. I've literally ordered probably like 2,000 hooks in the last 3 or 4 months from that guy. And it's the best deal that I can find. And they're really good hooks, man. Gary, man, you're too funny, brother. Glad to see you on here, bro. It's been too long since we were able to find the time and the internet even to do this, because here in my office I've got super high-speed internet, so it makes doing things like this so much easier. Like where we were in Clear Lake, man, people barely have their teeth, let alone high-speed internet. So we can't do this kind of stuff when we're on the road. It's just not. It's not possible. So I apologize for not jumping on the live stream train more often for you guys. But while I'm home, expect some more of this. Alright. Yeah, would you guys, any of you guys besides Steven watching the Big Barramundi Dream series or the Big Murray Cod Dream series or the Big Muskie Dream series? I'm a little disappointed, man. Some of you guys are still sleeping on that stuff. Like, that was some of the most incredible fishing overall I've ever experienced in my life. But it always comes back to the trophy largemouth at the end of the day. But, you know, I've learned so much from fishing these other species that I'm starting to apply in largemouth fishing, and vice versa, right? The reason why I did so well on all of those species is because of my experience largemouth fishing, especially the trophy stuff. Steven's never seen me do any Castaic vids. Is there a reason for that? Yeah, because Castaic sucks. Like, it goes back to time management, right? Like, I come off the road fishing some of the most epic places in the country and now the world. Last thing I want to do is fight through LA traffic to go catch a handful of fish and work my monkey ass off for it. It's just not really that appealing. Like, when I come home, I want to do other things. I want to decompress a little bit. I want to hoop. I want to go eat at nice restaurants. I want to hang out with my peoples. I don't want to work super, super hard and go through the hassle of going through an inspection and getting turned around and wasting my entire day, because that's exactly what happened the last time I tried to go to Castaic. But yeah, other than that, man, I mean, that's one of my home lakes. I grew up fishing there. I spent a lot of time on Castaic. Really, like, I only have so many boats. Like, it's part of the reason why I have the Dream Machine 1.0, because it makes it easy for me to just jump into the little boat and go fish pudding stone, for example, right, without having to worry about another inspection. Yeah, they definitely don't make it easy for us down here in SoCal, do they, my friends? Oh man, what else you guys got? Speaking of which, look at that, Ozark shad. People totally underuse chrome and black. It's not as cool as some of these colors that everybody's getting all hyped up on, but dude, this thing straight catches fish everywhere. Clear water, dirty water, and man, they don't really seem to be conditioned to it anymore. So, if you guys are looking for a good color selection, chrome black is my suggestion. Oh man, that was a fun cold morning on Clear Lake. Dude, we were freezing. Every morning started off like at 36, 37, 38 degrees. I think the high on this day was in the mid to low 40s. Part of why we were the only boat out there. But it's all good when you're catching multiple big fish. 29-pound bag is a big bag anywhere. I don't care what they say. Come on, guys. Is that all you guys got for me? Come on. What about, what, 40 minutes in now? Just been rambling, swapping hooks. Oh, that is a great question, my man Jason. My favorite buzzbait. I don't really have one. But if you give me a big double arm buzzbait, that would probably be one of my favorites. Or actually, there's a new one from Megabass coming out this year that's pretty sick. I don't even know the name of it, but we had it at the Bassmaster Classic Expo. But I like big buzzbaits. The last ones I was fishing, I was actually kind of fabricating my own out of components from like Barlow's or whatever. There's a video of it. It's like a 7+ pounder out of pudding stone on a double buzz. So double buzz is the deal for me. So great question. Steven, what brand and size hook for the replacement jerkbait hooks? I thought we went over this, bro. Let me hit you with that link again. Nope. Still not gonna let. Oh, it's because. Here, let me see if I can do it this way. No, man, just scroll up. Everybody else is saying the link works, but these are Mustad triple grips, short shank. think these are 1X. But great question. Let's see. Gary just scored several knuckle 60s. Man. Gary, I've always liked you, man. It's funny you say that, because I literally just went through my box of knuckles. And there's two sizes, right? There's a 60 and like a junior. But what do I think of them? I think I like them enough to have an entire box of the original adjustable lip knuckles. So if you guys can find any of these, check it out. They're kind of like the X-Pod in that they have an adjustable multi-position lip. Oh, wait, try not to break this thing. Oh wait, good up. Can you guys see or hear that? But yeah, there's multiple positions. I think there's 2 positions that affect the diving depth and the wobble on these baits. But that was the original version. Yeah, there you go. See, there's like a shallower and a deeper version. And then you got the latest edition, which is the Knuckle LD. It's got that Lexan lip. Whatever you guys do, do not slap the grass off of these things. You will break some lips. But yeah, I literally just went through and swapped out every hook on my knuckle box. This is a great crankbait when you're highly pressured, or if you're fishing a body of water with smaller fish, let's say a Lake Mead or some of these Midwest fisheries like on Table Rock. You know, you get these spots and smallies that want a small crank. When the bait's small, match the hatch. So, great question, Gary. Ernesto, with a very complex question. How long would you stick on a bait or area before you change something? Well, that's part of why I fish all my hard baits on snaps. I'm going to give a particular bait or a color anything from 5 to 10 casts before I change something in my presentation, whether that's my retrieve, my cadence, my speed, or in the column. No apologies necessary, Steven. It's all good, brother. I'm going to give it probably 5 to 10, 15 minutes, depending on what the activity level of those fish are, right? Every situation is different. Now, if I'm marking a bunch of fish, like we were in this channel here, it becomes a matter of not if the fish are there, but what is it going to take to get them to trigger. So, how did we figure out that they wanted a white swim jig? Well, we tried it. It's really that simple, and I let Johnny continue to fish the white swim jig in this series here, and I was continuing to try other colors. I tried one with a pink or purple hue, never got touched. I tried the one with blue hue, and that one continued to get bit as well. And then I think it was Johnny picked up a Hazadong on an underspin after we stopped catching him on the swim jig for a few minutes, and that became the bait. You just got to try and experiment and stay ahead of the curve. When you are in an area that you know has fish, I'll change pretty quickly, like pretty quickly. That's what. Look at the deck of the boat. I'm asking these fish all kinds of questions. Do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? Do you like that? You got to go through the process of elimination, man. There's really no shortcut, right? We use our experience from previous encounters as a baseline to build our gut feelings, but you know, it's all built upon your successes and failures in the past. Man, that is a complex question. Man, that's, you know, whether you're on the bank or in a boat, it's the same concept, man. Like, most of my fishing career, I didn't have access to any of this stuff. I didn't own a boat. I didn't own a boat until, like, I was in my mid-20s. I didn't own a fish finder. I didn't own a hydro wave. I didn't have live scope. So what I did have was the feel off of the end of my rod, and a lot of trial and error. And it's the same concept, it's the same methodical approach. If I'm gonna bank fish, I'm gonna roll up on my spot on the bank. I'm gonna try every angle cast I can from that one spot. That doesn't work, I'm going to swap a bait. I'm going to try a different part of the water column and work through there. And then I'm just going to keep changing and switching things as if those fish are there. Right? You got to always assume that that brush or that rock that you felt that there has a fish on there. You got to picture it mentally in your head. Because you can't confirm it via live scope that, hey, look, there is a 5-pounder or whatever sitting on the backside of that boulder. You got to envision it, and that's why when I have access to all of these electronics and all these tools, man, it just makes it that much easier and that much more efficient, because I no longer need to fully visualize it because it's actually right there in front of my face. All right, but I can still do it the old school way. It's the same thing. You're just not getting an actual immediate feedback. Steven with an excellent question. Do I use a jerkbait as a search bait? 1000%. I can fish that jerkbait as slow as I want or as fast as I want. And when I'm going through an area and need to cover water, a jerkbait is an incredible fish locating tool for me. You're going to find fish that are active. You're going to trigger fish that are inactive. It is definitely top 5 on my fish catching lures at all times on my deck. Oh man, you guys are keeping me from being super productive. Slacking on my hook changes. I just want to appreciate all 13 of you guys for tuning in and joining me here on this small channel. Like I said, if I was doing this for the attention, man, I wouldn't be doing it for the right reasons. And if I can help like a few of you guys be more efficient with your time and catch more fish, it's all worth it for me. So appreciate you guys. Gary, Indiana is actually letting us fish lakes, rivers, etc. But do you think for the states that aren't, is it going to make any impact with this year's spawn? Well, it's definitely going to alleviate a lot of pressure here in California, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't really think fishing during the spawn ultimately has an adverse negative impact on our fisheries. We don't have closed seasons here in California. Some of the lakes like Castaic, Casitas, Piru used to cordon off some coves so that at least some portion of the population of fish would have a break from fishing pressure. But really, you guys got to keep in mind that largemouth bass, smallmouth bass are still members of the sunfish family. Okay, so they are just bigger cousins of the bluegill, the crappie, the red ear sunfish, and they're all prolific breeders. And enough of them make it through every year, even with extreme pressure, to sustain our fisheries and trophy fisheries at that. So I really don't feel it has too much of an impact, but you know, that's just my opinion as a recreational biologist. I'm not a real accredited biologist, so my opinion really doesn't matter. But that's just how I feel about it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the fishing or the year class looks in 3 or 4 years, right? Because in California, you're definitely going to see a complete layoff of fishing pressure. Let's see. Jason, my favorite springtime bait. Man, that's got to be a big swim bait. And we've got some big swim bait action on the series from Clear Lake coming at you guys, starting with tomorrow. There's just nothing like it. Big bite on a big bait is a special thing, always will be. And the pre-spawn window that pretty much lasts from January through May, depending where you are in the country, is a great time to get a bite from a big pre-spawn female when that fish is at her heaviest, and you feel that thunk, or you watch that thing engage your glide bait. Really, really special. Alright, so great question, but I mean, gosh, look at the deck of the boat, Jason. a lot of my favorite springtime baits are tied on and ready to go, man. It's the one that they're eating, the one that's hanging out of their mouth. Well, yeah, confidence is earned, guys. So get out there, spend the time on the water, experiment, have a mind of your own. Don't be afraid to fail. I have failed and failed and failed and failed fishing wise and otherwise my entire life. Still failing now. But as long as you're making a concerted effort to learn from those failures and those mistakes, you should become better at whatever it is you want to become better at. So we're coming close to an hour here, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Probably gonna wrap this up here in a couple minutes if you guys don't hit me with a couple more questions. Steven's been drop shotting a roboworm alive shad with almost as much success with a finesse jerk bait. Good on you, brother. I mean, that finesse game is definitely strong here on the West Coast, which is funny because people from outside the country think I'm just some like big bait slinging lucky fisherman, blah blah blah. Hey, Megabass Bichon! What's up, Jeff? Hope you're being safe out there in France, my friend. Things are starting to get serious here in the States. If you guys aren't familiar with my man Jeff, he is one of the stars from our Big Pike Dream series that we shot in Spain last fall. Had an absolute blast with him, chasing European pike. Hopefully we'll be able to get back out there when this is all said and done and we're allowed to travel safely again. But appreciate all you guys, man. And Ernesto, it's all good, brother. I feel nervous about stepping on my boat sometimes too, and I gotta yell at my boys like, hey, slide your feet, don't take steps. Because everybody likes to deny that it ain't them stepping on my rod guides, but I've got videographic evidence that says otherwise. Alright guys, I'm going to try and get some more work around here done. I'm going to shoot this mail call video for you guys, and please subscribe to this channel if you guys haven't already. I want to grow this platform just as big, if not bigger, than the Big Bass Streams platform, and allow some of the other guys on our team to showcase themselves and their talents and their knowledge on the community platform that is Big Bass Streams. Shout out to my guys on Patreon. More stuff coming your way. I'm just starting to dig myself out of this hole. Just until last night, right behind me was boxes and boxes of all my stuff that I had unpacked from my last road trip. So once again, everybody stay safe, man. Be smart about it. Don't get sick. Ain't nobody got time for that. It's nice to chat with you guys. You guys stay up, man. Blaze your own trails. Oliver and I here. Leave a comment below if you guys are watching this after the live. And stay tuned. Stay tuned. FYI, for tomorrow's video on the Clear Lake series, I hook a giant and my reel comes off of my rod. It's a S show, and you don't want to miss it. So, have a great Sunday, guys. Peace. Your boy is out.